Luke chapter 16. The wise manager, the wealthy man and Lazarus, etc. Jesus told his followers, once there was a wealthy man who had a worker managing his wealth. The wealthy man was informed that the worker was squandering his affluence. So he invited the worker and told him, "What is all this information I have been receiving concerning you? Produce a detailed account of your management of my wealth, for you cannot be manager here anymore." And the manager reasoned within himself, "What shall I do now? For my superior is terminating my management of his wealth. I'm unable to dig and feel shame to be a mendicant. Now I know what to do, that when I am let go from the management, I shall have good friends who will receive me into their dwellings." And so he invited all the clients who were owing his superior. And he asked the first, "How much precisely do you owe my superior?" And he replied, 100 barrels of oil. Then the manager told him, "Here is your bill. Please have a seat. Hurry up, write down 50. And then the manager asked another client, "And how much precisely do you owe?" And he replied, "A large amount of wheat, 100 measures, or 1,000 bags." Then the manager told him, "Here is your bill. Write down 80 measures, or 800 bags." And so the superior praised the depraved manager because he had acted quite wisely. For the people of this world are surely wiser in running their businesses than the people of light. And I tell you, Jesus said, make friends for yourselves with the corrupt mammon, so that when all fails, you will be received in the everlasting home. Anyone who is faithful with the little things will likewise be faithful with great things. And anyone who is depraved with little things will likewise be depraved with great things. And so, if you have not been very faithful in dealing with the corrupt mammon, who will entrust you with the real affluence? And if you have not been clearly faithful in managing the wealth or the belongings of another man, who will give you your own affluence or your own belongings? No devotee can be a slave of two lords, not even one. For there is the danger that he will hate one and love the other, or he will be steadfast and faithful to one and loathe or feel disgust for the other. You cannot serve God and mammon likewise. When the Pharisees heard all these words, they scorned Jesus and made fun of him, because they cherished their money. Then Jesus told them, "You are the ones who justify yourselves before the people, but the Lord God knows everything in your hearts. For the things that are treasured by humanity are worthless in the sight of God. The law of Moses and the works of the prophets were in use until the era of John the Baptist. Since then, the glad tidings about the monarchy of the Lord God is being proclaimed, and everyone is struggling to get in. No doubt, it is easier for heaven and earth to vanish than for a minute detail of the law to falter. anyone who divorces his spouse and marries another commits adultery. And any man who marries a divorced woman likewise commits adultery. Once, there was a wealthy man who was robed in the most expensive apparel and flourished in plenitude and luxury every day. Now there was a mendicant named Lazarus who was sick and covered with sores, and he was carried to the wealthy man's gateway. Wishing to eat the crumbs which dropped from the wealthy man's table, even dogs often came and licked his wounds. As events happened, the mendicant died and was taken by the angels to the bosom of Abraham at the festival in paradise. The wealthy man also expired and was buried. And in hell, suffering bitter pain, he raised his eyes and saw Abraham far away, and in his bosom Lazarus. So he cried out, "Father Abraham, look with pity on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip his finger in water and bring relief to my tongue, for I am experiencing tremendous pain in this flame." But Abraham said in reply, "Son, do recall that in your lifetime you obtained everything good, while Lazarus took everything bad. But now he is solaced and happy, while you are troubled, in great pain. And even beside that, there is a huge moat established between us, so that those who wish to proceed from here to you are unable to do so, nor can those from where you are proceed to us." Then the wealthy man said, Please, Father Abraham, please send Lazarus to my father's dwelling. I have 5 brothers there. Let him go and testify to them, so that they will not end up in this place of distress. Abraham told him, "Your brethren have Moses and the prophets. Your brethren therefore should listen to them." And the wealthy man said, "No, Father Abraham, but if one rises from the dead and goes to them, they will surely be penitent." And Abraham told him, "If they do not listen to Moses and the prophets, they will not correct themselves, even if one were to rise from the dead."